Oh, hey. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Sorry about that. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Mm. I'm sipping on some coffee in this late afternoon, or should I say early afternoon. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Do I need to go back out and come back in? I went out once and came back in. Okay, hear you now. Okay. Thank you. Y'all come on in. Come on in. She said, put your disclaimer up. My disclaimer is going across the bottom. Basically, it says the things that I say out of my mouth is based on my opinion only. I am not here to try to defame anybody's character, okay? This is going to be a quick live because I definitely have to be out of this door by 3 o'clock, okay? And I don't want to have to fight with Jay today, so y'all got to help me be out of this house by 3, and it's 1:30 now, so I only have an hour and a half to talk, okay? So the name of this live is Latoya Foster to the front of the class. Now, I don't know if Toya is listening, but this is for Latoya Foster, okay? Now, let's clear some up from the beginning. This is not a drag of Latoya Foster. I am not going to drag her, not one bit. All right. And just let y'all know, it's $2 Tuesday. So I have my goal set at $2. $2. That's all. So $2 for anyone that can or is able to tip your girl $2. Who is this? Dimitri. Thank you so much. She said at work when I'm listening. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. So this is for Latoya. I want to have a conversation with Latoya Foster, okay? Now, because Latoya Foster brought her situation public, meaning that, you know, she wanted us to look at it, listen to it, and maybe even comment on it, right? Oh, she said, Amora, you got me addicted to coffee and Bailey's. Girl, we twinning then, baby. We twinning, you hear me? But since she brought it public, I am going to give my response publicly, okay? All right, so Latoya Foster, I don't know if you at work. I know she a hardworking young lady in these days. I don't know if she's at work or maybe somebody can nudge her and tell her to listen in, or maybe she'll catch it later. But Latoya Foster, we need to have a conversation, okay? We absolutely need to have a conversation. Hold on, let me close my door right quick. Let me close my door. So I had the opportunity to go back and listen to her live from yesterday. And I also caught a few of the videos that she posted in her story today, or I don't know when it was, either today or yesterday. Now, let me just put my spill on it. And of course, I'm going to come from the aspect of a wife, a mother of bonus children, adult bonus children. And then I'm going to come from the aspect of the law, what the law says. All right. So first of all, as a wife, right? Let's go there first. We'll get to the mother, a stepmama in a minute, but let's go from the avenue of a wife. I am a wife. Latoya is a wife. Latoya, you are a wife, right? I think Latoya has it mixed up. Somewhere in her mind, somewhere in her thinking, she has it twisted. Yes, that's her father, and it's no doubt that she loved her father. It seems like she was the one that stood up to the plate and was always there for her father. But what she doesn't realize is once that father gets married, okay, that wife takes precedence. And I don't think Toya realizes that. I heard out my own ears that Toya says, I'm next to kin. All right. But what she don't understand is next to kin is just something written on a piece of paper, right? Because by her father being married, and if he didn't put in a will specific things that he wanted distributed out, then as a married man, she, the wife, takes precedence over everybody. The mama, the children, the friends. That wife, when you get married, you become one, right? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. When you get married, you become one. So the wife takes precedence over the children. No matter, I heard her say, I've been in his life for 41 years and she's only been in his life for 7. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That was his wife when he died. When he died, they were still legally married. They could have literally even been separated and not divorced, and the wife still would have taken precedence. So to hear Toya, and I know she come from a place of hurt, but she also come from a place of misunderstanding. She doesn't understand this, okay? And it takes another married person and a woman that have stepchildren to explain this to her. Somebody needs to, because the way she's going about things right now is absolutely wrong and a pure waste of her time. Okay. The wife takes precedence, right? Now, from my understanding, there was 2 insurance policies. There was one insurance policy that was done strictly for the wife. She was the beneficiary. And then there was another insurance policy done for the children, an accidental policy. What Toya is not understanding is the dad and the wife put the money in for the insurance policies. Insurance policies are not free. Somebody has to pay into those policies. So even if she say my dad paid for it, the dad and wife is one. So if he paid for it, she paid for it. So it seems to me that the policy that was paid out was the wife policy. She was the beneficiary. The policy that he created 90 days prior to his death, which was an accidental policy, he had for Toya and the children. But guess who paid into it? Not Toya, but he did, which means him and the wife paid into that policy as well. Now, that one didn't pay out because it did not mature. A lot of people don't understand when you go get these insurance policies, it has a limit on there. And this insurance policy obviously said that it must be in effect for at least minimum of 2 years before it pays out. Unfortunately, he didn't make it for 2 years past the insurance policy. That's not the wife's fault. That's not the father's fault. That's not Toya's fault. If you want to blame anybody, blame the insurance company, because there are insurance companies that don't make you wait 2 years. You have to read the fine print, and a lot of people do not read the fine print when they go signing things, okay? However, this particular insurance policy said that the death had to be accidental and the policy had to mature for 2 years. That did not happen. That's no one's fault. That's still, of the family, okay? Now, unfortunately, that policy didn't pay out. So now Toya wants the wife to distribute the money, I guess, equally for the policy that she was the beneficiary over. Now, let me just go here for a moment. I don't know how much the policy was, and I really don't care. But however much the policy was, if the wife wants to give Toya or her siblings any money, then that will be from the kindness of her own heart. She is not legally obligated to give anything. She do not have to distribute a dime if she was named the beneficiary, okay? Now, here's the thing. There's a video that she played, a recording where the father said, where she agreed that the father told her that he wants to leave Toya and the kids some money. Nothing is wrong with that, right? And I believe in my heart that he probably did. But if he did not take the necessary steps to put that in a will and say, I want to leave Toya and my grandkids $10,000, $15,000, however much or whatever, right? If that is not in writing, then that's just pillow talk. And you have to understand that is done more times than not. A husband and wife pillow talk. Him saying what he wants to do and not making it happen is two different things. So the fact that he told his wife, I want to make sure Toya and the kids are taken care of. But if he didn't take the extra steps to make it happen, it's just, unfortunately, it's just talk. She cannot get angry and mad, or she can get angry and mad, but that's not against the law that the wife says she is not going to distribute the money that she was the beneficiary over. Now, this is where I fault Toya. For Toya to think at 41 years of age that her dad's wife is insignificant, that she comes before his wife and should be more entitled to anything than his wife is entitled to, is absolutely wrong, Toya. That's wrong. And somebody has to tell you that. To hear Toya say that the vehicles that her daddy left behind belongs to the sons and the money belongs to his children is absolutely absurd. Those vehicles don't belong to the grown-ass sons unless it's in a will, unless he put it in a will and said, I want to leave my Chevrolet to my oldest son. I want to leave my Toyota Corolla to my other son. And I'm just naming cars, meaning that it may not even be the kind of car he left behind. But for Toya to think that the vehicles should go to the boys and the money should be distributed amongst the children and the wife is absolutely absurd. Now, I have to ask Toya this because Toya is a wife. And Toya does have a stepdaughter. It doesn't matter how long or how short that you've been married. How would she feel if OB daughter did what she is doing to the wife, the widow? Because that woman just lost her husband. I understand Toya just lost her father, but that woman laid beside that man at night for 7 years. No one understands the position of a wife. The bullshit, and it ain't always bullshit, but trust and believe. The things that that wife had to endure, had to stick through. Now, I'm not saying they had a rough marriage or a hard time, but a wife bites off her tongue to keep the peace majority of the time. We give up ourselves to love another person majority of the time. 7 years of laying beside this man, and now all of a sudden she's supposed to become insignificant? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's a widow right now. I understand Toya lost a father, but you cannot dismiss the wife lost a husband. Now, I honestly think the fighting over the insurance thing is a bit early, but it happens. Let's not pretend that it doesn't happen, because it does happen, right? But to blame the wife because of money, because this thing is for money. This is what I'm hearing. This is about money. To blame the wife for the death, saying that it's her fault that he is no longer here, is sad. That's absolutely sad. And that happens more times than not. People always have to point a finger at someone to blame. But to blame the wife all because she doesn't want to give the adult children money is sad. These adult children are 41 years of age and older, have their own families, have their own jobs, making their own money, right? But to blame the wife for the death and to accuse her of not doing enough, all because of money, because it is because of money, right? It's sad. And to bring it to social media is double sad. Double sad. As a wife, Toya, you have to understand, if this happened to you, you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't want to be married to a man, OB, and we all know OB loved Toya like no other. We know that. I love that for her. But if the daughter came as an adult, not an underage daughter, but an adult, 40 years old and over, and demanded that an insurance policy be distributed with the children, adult children, and the wife, that's absolutely wrong. She has no obligation to do that. And I stand by this, and I stand by this wholeheartedly. What's yours is yours, right? If Toya feels that any of that insurance policy belongs to her, if she felt that in her heart, she don't have to say anything. Because if she is to get any of it, she will get it. Because what belongs to you is yours, and no one can take that away. Meaning that what I'm trying to say is, if it really belongs to her, then mysteriously the money will come to Toya. She don't have to fight about it. She don't have to drag the wife on social media about it. She don't have to go to no lawyer about it. If it's hers, it's going to become hers. It may not be today. It may not be next week. But if it's yours, it's going to come to you. And 9 times out of 10, before all of this drama started, the wife probably would have done more, right? Done more than what she's done. But it's the privilege part of it. It's the her thinking that this is mine. I'm deserving of this and you're not. That's that privilege. And that does not belong in Toya's lap. We're going to get on the death thing in a minute, but let's stick with the money for right now. Toya thinks that she is more important than the wife. I heard, she didn't say those exact words, but I heard that through her cries, her tears. She has put herself as the daughter above the wife, and that is where you're going wrong. Thank you for that word. That's exactly what I was looking for. The entitlement. Thank you. I was looking for that word, but I could not grab it out the sky. Toya, baby girl, you're being a little much entitled because you are the daughter. How dare you? You can't do that, Toya. You putting yourself above the wife and then gonna tell the world, oh, he wanted to divorce her anyway. That's not our business. And until he do, that's still his wife. Husband and wife get into it all the time. They talk about divorce in the beginning, probably more often than not. That doesn't mean anything. If he didn't go and actually initiate it and it was final by the time he passed away, that means nothing. But that was done to humiliate her. That was done to make her feel bad, to bring her spirits down. Shame on you, Toya, for that. Shame on you. But nevertheless, you are not more important than the wife when it comes to legalities. You may have had a special part in your daddy's heart. And I promise you, you probably did. He probably had a special place in his heart for you. I'm sure he did. All his children. But when a man takes on a wife, or even a wife takes on a husband, she takes precedence over the adult children. You are an adult child. You're not an underage child. Your father is not responsible for taking care of you. You are an adult. Now, again, if the policy had a will attached to it and said, I want my daughter and my grandkids to have a certain amount of money, then by law, the attorneys will have to make sure that that happens. But if the father did not lay that out, you cannot be angry and think that the wife's supposed to distribute those funds. She went to the house, knocked on the door, and told the wife that she's supposed to distribute the money. Toya, you are wrong. And I saw a lot of people in her comments calling the wife evil and things of that nature. And I'm sure they're doing it because they want to support Toya, because they're her supporters. But that wife is not wrong for saying that I was the beneficiary. I'm the beneficiary on this policy. If she is the beneficiary, she does not have to give Toya, Robert, nor Kevin a damn dime. She doesn't have to. Now, if she did out the kindness of her own heart, then that will be a gesture from her. But it's not an obligation. And you can't bully someone into doing that. You just absolutely cannot. So I'm sorry that they're even going through this, right? Especially when the man passed away. It hasn't even been a month, right? Hell, I don't even think it's been 2 weeks or something. I don't know. Hasn't it been like 2? But nevertheless, it's been a very short period of time. But the entitlement and saying that those vehicles should go to his sons, my brothers, and the money should be equally distributed. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, absolutely, ma'am. So, Toya, unfortunately, the policy that the father had for you guys, it did not materialize. It did not mature. That is not the wife's fault. You cannot blame her for that. The intentions was there and it just did not happen. And the thing about it is, I'm hearing the policy was only $10,000. I don't know. But instead of arguing and dragging the wife on social media, that $10,000 can be made back in 4 to 5 months by working extra hard. Instead of going and pay a lawyer, because you will pay a lawyer about that much, trying to fight over something that does not belong to you. That money that you will pay a lawyer is what you should look at and say, you know what? The policy may not have matured, but let me just turn up the volume and work extra hard, right? And make up that money that my dad intended to leave for me, but the policy did not mature. And another thing, saying that she wanted to go in the house and pick out anything that they want. That's not a automatic thing either. I understand that the wife says she's not ready to go through his things yet. She has that right. She has the right to say, I'm not ready to go through his things yet. Let me breathe for a minute. Let me grieve for a minute. I'm not ready to go in and start distributing the things in the house. You get this, you get that, you get this. She's not ready yet, right? But for her to think that her and her siblings have the right to go in and pick out things that they want before the wife can say, this is the, separated or whatever, and say, this is, the things that you guys can have or whatever. Why do they think that they have that entitlement to do that? They don't. They do not. And now I'm sure the wife will eventually say, okay, I have set aside everything that I'm going to keep. Anything else you guys want, come look, see what you want. And whatever you don't want, I'll send to the Goodwill or donate it somewhere else, right? But for her to think that they should just be able to go in and get first dibs on anything, it's just not right. It's just not right, okay? So again, I'm understanding that there was 2 policies. One left for the wife, one left for Toya. The one that was left for Toya did not mature. That's not the wife's fault. Now let's get into her accusing the wife of unaliving the father, right? For money. And I heard out my own ears, she said the father called his wife and said that he couldn't breathe, or it was hard for him to breathe. And said the wife said, pull over on the side of the road and I'm gonna come get you and take you to the hospital. Now she said that why didn't the wife call the ambulance? She faults the wife for not calling the ambulance. Now, I don't think that she literally played that out, right? In her head when she said that. Because she blames the wife for not calling the ambulance, but why the daddy couldn't call the ambulance? And this is not me talking down on the dad or anything. But if the daddy can call the wife and say, I cannot breathe, or it's difficult for me to breathe, then he can call the ambulance and say the same thing. But for Toya to put that blame on the wife because she said, I'm coming where you are. Pull over, I'm coming where you are, and I'm going to take you to the hospital, right? You cannot blame her for that, okay? Okay, Toya's in the comments. She said, you are taking pieces of what I said on my live and running with the narrative. Nothing you said is true. I am the beneficiary on both policies and a video posted on YouTube. Toya, I have to stop you there. I have to stop you there because what I do understand is if you are the beneficiary on any of the policies, they would not have released the money to the wife. You may have thought that you were the beneficiary. That is against the law to distribute money to someone that is not the beneficiary. So you may have thought you was the beneficiary. You may have been told that you was going to be the beneficiary. But by law, an insurance company cannot release money to someone that is not the beneficiary on a policy. So whether you read it incorrectly, right? But no attorney is going to release. First of all, the insurance company don't want nobody to get the money. Let me just say that, okay? They don't want no one to get the money. They really don't want you nor the wife to get the money. They would rather the policy not be eligible to pay out, to be honest with you. But trust and believe, when an insurance policy gets ready to pay out, they're going to look for little loopholes to not pay. So if the wife came up there to get the money, they're going to make sure that she is on the policy. They're not just going to give her money if it wasn't supposed to be hers. So unfortunately, I don't know if you was just told that you was the beneficiary or maybe, you know, whatever the case may be. But I cannot believe that you was the beneficiary and an insurance company gave the money to the wife. Because if that's the case, then your argument is still not with the wife. It should be with the insurance company. Let them recoup the money. Because if they were in error and gave the wrong beneficiary money, that is their fault, not the wife's. Not the wife's. So again, if the money belongs to you, then your argument is with the insurance company. You have to go and settle that with them. You saying the wife have to distribute the money because that is what you said on your live, on your story. I heard you say you have to distribute the money. If you're the beneficiary, you wouldn't even be saying that to her. So take your argument up with the insurance company and not your stepmom, not your bonus mother. That's an argument with you and the insurance company. Sue them. But it's definitely not an argument with the spouse. Your anger is misplaced. It's displaced. Again, she said, you act like you're teaching a child. I'm grown. My dad put it in writing and it's on file, and you are wrong for this live talking about what you want to have a conversation with. No, I'm not wrong. You brought this to the internet. So now, had you not brought it to the internet, Toya, guess who wouldn't know about it? Me and a bunch of other people. Now, I wasn't going to talk on it, but the reason why I chose to talk on it, because I said, Toya, you would not like if your stepdaughter was doing this to you. Now, you cannot get mad because you or anybody else brings something to the internet and then somebody else do not agree with what you're doing. Okay, I will drop the link. Come on, I will drop the link. We have about another hour that we can have this conversation. And I still stand on what I say. If your argument is not with the wife, if it's in writing like you said, then your argument is not with the wife. If it's in writing like you said, then you're going to get the money. Why blast her on the internet? Why speak of insurance money on the internet? Why post any conversation about money or insurance money on the internet? On the internet. So again, you cannot get upset because someone wants to speak on something that you brought to the internet. But as a wife and as a bonus mom, you're handling this the wrong way. You are absolutely handling this the wrong way. Your anger, and even to accuse her of unaliving your father, I need to speak on that as well. All right, here goes Toya. Toya, how are you?
I'm fine. I just wanted to get on here because I was hearing you on your live, and I wanted to correct you on some things. You said that I said my brothers are supposed to get vehicles. That's not what I said. I said if anything, his kids is entitled to some of his belongings, which after
You said cars.
$60,000,
Do you want
his
me?
kids
Do you want me to show
are
you?
entitled.
You said
You,
cars. You want me to? You want me to let you hear it?
I mean, cars as well. We are entitled to his assets after $60,000 of his assets go to his wife. But as far as the insurance policies that you're up here speaking about, I'm on both policies. Both. So
Are
what
you?
you're
Are
telling these
you?
people is a lie. I'm on
So
both
hold
policies.
on.
I
No, no,
posted
no.
a
Wait a
video
minute.
on my YouTube page with the insurance representative saying that I'm on both policies. The one that's not being paid and the one that's being paid. So that's the issue. It's not that I'm just on here arguing about money and you're saying I'm doing my dad's wife wrong. You don't know half of what's going on with my family. You just know as far as what I put out on live, and you're going as
Exactly. And
far
I'm
as
speaking on.
making
And I'm speaking
accusations
on.
off of what I said. Some of the stuff
No,
you're
no, no.
saying I did
Okay,
not
let's listen.
say. You're going
Let's
off of
listen
what
to
I
this
said
part.
and you're building a live off of it and making extra
Okay.
accusations saying like the wife was miserable or laying beside my dad. None of that was said. My dad was not wanting to be with her. Me and
No,
my
no, no.
family know
Toya.
that. But
Now,
what you're
Toya, you're
saying
not.
is
Wait a minute,
wrong.
Toya. Toya.
The wife
Toya.
don't get
Toya.
everything, and I am the beneficiary of both policies.
Toya.
I just don't
Not. Not
understand
Toya. Toya. We're not gonna just make up stuff. I never said your mother, your stepmom, or your husband's, I mean your father's wife was miserable. I never said that. We're not gonna come over here and put words in my mouth. I never said that she was miserable laying beside your dad. What I said was she laid beside your dad for 7 years, not miserable. You have to understand a wife position we deal with a lot. Never said she was miserable. Never, ever. Don't put words in my mouth, Toya. Please do not. Now, Toya, we're going to play your video that you brought on live. Now, do I have permission to play your video?
No, you do not. If they want to watch it, they can go to my page and watch it, just like everybody else. This is
Okay, well, you
content
know
for
what?
you. I
Respect.
got on my
I'll take
page
this down.
venting about
I'll
what
take the
happened,
video down.
and what you're
Then
doing is
you know what, Toya? Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay, let's finish the conversation. We'll have the conversation without her, okay? Since she, I won't play her video, but we will have the I don't need her to have this conversation. I don't need her on the panel to have this conversation. I'm sure she will hear me. I don't need her to have this conversation. Now, again, she is still wrong. Y'all heard her just say out of her own mouth that she feels that her and her brother is entitled to up to $60,000 of her father's asset. Now, I'm not here to judge her brothers, or her father and how much assets they have. But it sounds to me that she wants to take out a calculator, okay, and say, okay, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. No, we supposed to get a little bit more. We supposed to get a little bit more. Toya cannot get upset because she chose to bring something to social media and then get upset because people see it differently. Y'all know, and you can go back to the beginning, I never said the wife was miserable. Toya likes to put, sauce on things, okay? And I'm not even upset with Toya. This ain't even no drag for Toya. I'm not dragging Toya, okay? This is not what I'm doing. But Toya is choosing not to hear me clearly. She's choosing to add things. She's choosing to twist things. Now, she said out her mouth that she is the beneficiary of both policies, right? Well, if that's the case, then what the fuck is the argument? There should not be an argument. I'm on both policies. Then why even come to the internet? Why claim? Let me read what she wrote. Since we cannot play her content, which I'm going to respect that, she put on her page 22 hours ago, right? She says, if you think for 1 minute, she's talking to the wife, Tippy, if you think for 1 minute that you're going to pull the plug on my dad and take everything from his kids, you are wrong. You didn't give my daddy 3 days on life support before you was calling the insurance companies and calling the policy and calling the police on my aunt and all. I was the beneficiary for a reason. Meet me in court and please don't buy any more cars because you will be in jail, and that's a promise. I will be live tonight so your family and everybody else that you have been calling and harassing me, including Chris, can see the things that you have been saying behind their back. You shiesty, but I recorded everything for a reason. Now, with that being said, she's upset about insurance money that she claimed that she was the beneficiary for. Okay. She said that she was on both policies. If she's on both policies, again, her argument should be with the insurance company, not the wife. If she's on both policies, why is she asking on her story? If you go to her story right now, there is a video that she went and knocked on the wife's door and told the wife that she's supposed to distribute the money. If she is on both policies, why is she asking the wife to distribute? If she's the beneficiary, then why is she asking the wife to distribute anything? She shouldn't have to ask the wife. She should call up the insurance company or go be knocking on the door of the insurance company and trying to find out from them, why are they not distributing the money? Now, again, I think that she may have misinterpreted some of what the insurance policy says. You have to be very careful with these policies. If you don't read, that's why when you're dealing with insurance policies, you really should have a lawyer, because the lawyer can tell you and break down that policy and tell you the fine lines that you may not even realize. It may have said, now I'm not saying it did because I have not read her policy, but it may have said, understand I'm saying may. It may have said that both of their names is on the policy, but her part don't kick in unless the wife pass away. That's what my policy says, right? My policy, $500K. If something happened to me today, so much of it goes to my husband. But if my husband leaves with me or even before me, then it trickles down to the next person that's on the list. Our children is listed and they are listed in order. It says things like, if you precede this person, then, if this person precedes you, then they get this amount. If this person precedes this person, they get this amount. That's what she's probably not understanding. That doesn't mean equal distribution. That means if one person that the money goes to leave either before me or even after me, then the policy goes to the next person, that amount of money distributed to the next person. You have to read carefully a policy. It's not as black as white as people may think it is. Now, she's saying I'm doing this for content. She did what she did for content. There's nothing wrong with us talking about what hit the internet for content. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I don't agree with her coming to the internet, right, and putting the story out, and I'm not saying that they didn't have issues in their family. Everybody have issues in their family, and it just seems like when somebody die, the issues surface, right? It happens in a lot of our families. We will be a lie to sit here and say that we have not either seen or been directly affected by a death and then bullshit surface. But a lot of us just don't bring it to the internet, right? A lot of us ain't gonna come to the internet and speak on people arguing over however much money it is. A lot of people are not gonna do that, but she chose to do that. She did. She chose to do that. So don't get upset and say you're just using this as content. Everything I speak about is content. Even if I'm speaking about myself, even if I speak about the weather, it's content. I get paid to talk about it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about it. But I felt like as a mom and a wife that she will understand that wives have positions. And she's saying that we are entitled to $60,000 of his assets. I'm sure that may be like that in some type of fine print, but that does not supersede the wife. And it doesn't give the children, adult kids at that, unless it's written out in a will or something, to come and pick through $60,000 worth of stuff and then leave the wife of 7 years just whatever they don't want. That's just not how shit works, unfortunately. That's not how shit works. Now, again, I never said the wife lay beside him miserably. She added that for her own good, for her own reasons. Why, whatever, she added that. But she said in her live, and you can go listen to it, she said that they should get the cars, that she should be giving the cars over to the brothers, right? But then she tried to say she didn't say it. And then she was like, well, the cars are part of the asset. Huh? If Tippy, or the wife, I'm going to call it the wife, if she wants to keep, if he had 5 cars, and if she wants to keep all 5 cars, that is her right. That is her right. If she want to take those cars and give them to someone else other than the sons, she has a right to do so. She may look at it like they have vehicles. Robert has 2 vehicles. If she want to donate them to the Salvation Army, she can. She has that right. Now, I'm not saying that she should. I'm just saying she has that right. I don't understand why adult children think that they're so entitled beyond the spouse, because they are not. They are not. Now, unfortunately, they didn't get the memo. Unfortunately, no one has told them that. Not Robert, not Toya, nor Kevin, unless it's in a will, are entitled to anything more than the spouse. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a story. My sister, the one that lived in Atlanta, was dating a married guy. They were separated for years. The man and his wife was separated for years. I want to say at least 4 or 5 years that they were separated, because my sister lived with this man for 3 years. But let me tell you what happened to my sister. That man died. Yeah. And guess what happened? His wife that he was estranged from, they were separated but still married. She came in after the funeral with the police officers and moved things out of my sister's house. Literally with the police. She had to tell the police what was hers and what was his. And they allowed the wife to take out of my sister's home things that she had in her house for 3 years. Yes. And the wife, I wouldn't even wanted anything out of somebody's damn house, to be honest with you. But the wife took things out of my sister's home. I felt so bad for my sister. But guess what? By law, because they were married still, and she was able to show the police pictures of shit that was his, she was able to take things out of my sister's home. I'm telling you, the wife has privilege. The wife has rights. The wife takes precedence over anybody, the girlfriend, the children, unless there is a will in place. It doesn't matter if you was his favorite, if you was your daddy's favorite, unless your daddy put it in writing that this goes to you, you do not automatically get that. Now, what you should do is keep your cool and say, you know, stepmama or whatever you want to call her, wifey, whatever. Daddy wanted me to have that. Can I have this? Now, once she stopped grieving and just, you know, time passes, maybe she'll say, you know what? Your daddy did want you to have this. Here you go. I want you to have it too because your daddy wanted you to have it. But to think that you're going to demand someone. She went to this lady's house and knocked on the door and filmed it. And said, you are supposed to distribute the money. That right there tells me that she do not understand an insurance policy. Because let me tell you something. If she was on the beneficiary and was supposed to get any of the money, the insurance company would not have even had the conversation with the wife alone. The insurance company would have said, I cannot speak unless the other person is present. The insurance company would have said, when you and the other person can come here together, I would explain who gets what. The insurance company would not have distributed or even discussed a distribution of the funds with just one person alone. Now, unfortunately, it seems that she does not understand the policy. She does not understand the policy. And it sounds to me that if she goes and hire an attorney, they're going to take her funds just to come back around and tell her that she is not entitled unless the stepmama or the wife passes away. She doesn't understand that she may have been named on the policy, but the money don't go to her unless the wife is gone, unless the wife passed away with him or shortly after before the distribution. Now, you know, oh my God, all I can say is my heart goes out seriously to anybody that has lost a life, right? And then fall out shortly afterwards, because I've seen it happen with my own family. My aunts didn't talk for years over a damn fur coat. Mama left that for me. No, mama left this for me over a damn fur coat. My aunties didn't speak for years. And then when they did start back speaking, unfortunately, like less than a year, one of my aunts passed away. So they argued and beefed with each other over a damn fur coat. Mama left this for me. No, mama told me that it's supposed to go to me. They fell out over a coat. And I'm sure y'all have stories of similar shit. People fall out over the smallest things. Things, though. You hear what I'm saying? Things. They fall out over things. So I've seen it happen, and it could just be just a simple thing, just a simple little thing. But to me, she brought this to the internet. See, my aunts fell out. They didn't bring this to the internet. The internet was here. when they fell out, but they didn't bring this to the internet. So no one talked about it on the internet. She brought this to the internet and then get upset and say, you just doing this for content. See, people like Toya think that they supposed to come out and discuss their business on social media and people just supposed to agree with them or keep it moving. No, you brought it on social media for a reason, okay? So when you bring it on social media and someone chooses to speak about it, they can. They can. Now, again, this wasn't no drag Toya live. Y'all know how those live go. This is not a drag Toya live. I just think Toya is misinformed. And I hope that when she calms down, when she go through the grieving process, I hope that she can understand what I'm saying to her. I hope that she can understand that her grievance is not with the wife. Her grievance should be with the insurance company. If in fact, she is the beneficiary. But to think that her and her adult siblings are entitled to anything more than the spouse. I don't give a damn if they didn't love each other and slept in different rooms. They were still legally married. Legally married. And for that alone, she has more rights, more entitlements than Toya. I heard Toya say, I'm the next of kin. And the next of kin is just something someone puts on a piece of paper. I don't think people understand that. When you go to the hospital or when you're filling out paperwork and the doctor says who is next of kin, that has nothing to do with the distribution of money or things. When they ask who's the next of kin, basically what they're saying is, who do I need to call if an emergency arrives? Who do I need to get in contact with and tell first so they can tell everybody else? Right? Now, I'm going to say this. If she was put down as the next of kin, then guess what? She would have been the first one that knew that her daddy passed. I heard her say that she told her brother and her brother told Toya, which means that she was not listed as the next of kin. Next of kin, get the phone call first. Next of kin, get contacted first. Again, next of kin does not mean the insurance money goes to the next of kin. It's just who is the POC, point of contact. That's it. Who is the POC? Who do I call first? Who do I call? It has absolutely nothing to do with who is the beneficiary. Next of kin does not equal that. Okay? So let me just say this. If I'm not mistaken, I think they live in the state of North Carolina. In the state of North Carolina, the law says if the deceased person did not have a will in place, North Carolina law controls who gets what. Surviving spouse get the first $60,000 of personal property plus half of the remaining property. The children split the other half equally. It says age does not matter. Adult versus minor makes no difference. Let's give an example. If personal property equal $160,000, the spouse gets $60,000, the first $60,000 of personal property plus half of the remaining property. So which means if $160,000 of personal property, the spouse gets $60,000 plus $50,000 equals $110,000. The children splits $50,000 equally, which would be $16,666. Now, I'm just going to say this. Now, again, This is not me putting down the father or the family as a whole. And if I'm wrong about what I'm saying, then I will eat that. But I'm not trying to be nasty or disgusting when I say this. $160,000 of personal property, that's a lot. Now, again, I don't know nobody's finances. You know what? I'm not going to say that. Let me just not say let me not say that. Let me not say that. You know what? I digress on that one. But let me just say this. If they had that much asset of personal property, then they are entitled to split the half after the 60,000 goes to the spouse, the surviving spouse, right? And then they get half of whatever is remaining. So if they only had 100,000, then 60,000 of it goes to the surviving wife, spouse, and then she still gets another 20,000, which means that they would have to split equally $20,000. Now, I'm sure that's going to happen, but that's not money. That's not insurance. That's personal property. Personal property is not money. It's not money. Now, let's talk about the money right quick, and then I'm gonna go. The life insurance does not follow the inheritance law. It goes only to the person that's named on the beneficiary. Let me just say this again. Money is not a part of the personal property. It's two different things. Personal property is couches, cars, photos, paintings, right? Wash machines, I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's household, but anyway. But personal property, rings, jewelry. But the life insurance policy does not fall up under personal property. The life insurance goes solely to the people that's on the beneficiary or named the beneficiary. So if the wife is named the beneficiary, she gets 100%. If the kids are named, then they get it. If the kids are named the beneficiary. If someone else is named, they don't even have to be the kids, then they get it. But if no beneficiary is listed, it goes to the estate and follows the interstate rules above. Adult children are not automatically entitled to an insurance money unless they are named beneficiaries or the policy pays into the estate. That is why a will is very important. And if you guys are still alive and don't want to have to deal with things like this, then go get a will. It's simple. It is absolutely simple. This lady said, this is another live that we did not need. What happened to minding our business? The man just passed away. Okay, let me just let her go. Bye. Don't come back to my live. Okay. She said, I don't care what the law says. If my husband had cars and I helped pay for them, there's no way a child is going to walk in that door and tell me to give them dad's car. And they should not. And they should not. You know, this is so funny that this person came over and said, this is another live that we don't need. It is over 2 billion YouTube people, not billion, I'm sorry, 2 million YouTube channels on YouTube. This person literally came to my live and said, this is a live that we did not need. And what happened to minding our own business? Who told this lady to come listen to me? Of all the people on the internet, why pull up? I swear YouTube have the most ignorant ass people that I have ever encountered in my 53 years of breathing. The most ignorant ass people. The most ignorant people. Anyway, let's not take away from the message. The message is, it is important to read. If Toya is named the beneficiary, then she has no argument. All she has to do is go to the insurance company and get the money. But to go to the wife's house, if you go to Toya's live, it is in her story. Go give her the views, go give her the likes, go give her whatever, right? But if you go to the live, you will hear for yourself. She knocks on the wife's door and tells the wife that she is supposed to distribute the insurance money. That does not sound to me like she was named beneficiary, because if she was, the insurance company would have distributed accordingly. Now, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to leave. If you don't want someone to talk about your business, things that happen in the comfort of your own home, your own family, then please do not bring it to the internet. Don't. I don't care how upset, how angry, or how hurt you are. If you bring it to the internet, it is free game. Myself or anyone else are allowed to talk about it. So if you don't want a blogger to make money discussing your story, then don't bring your story to the internet. Don't do it. Do not do it. If you want privacy, practice privacy. But some people do not understand what is brought to the internet. And for people that say that you should mind your business, they should stop coming to listen to me. Just stop coming. Stop clicking on the button. If you don't want to hear what I have to say, you can take it upon yourself and not listen. There is a such thing. There are content creators that I do not like, don't even like the sounds of their voice, and I don't go to their pages. I elect not to go to their pages. And I have asked a few people that were sending me clips of them to please don't send me anymore. I don't need to hear their voice in my inbox. I don't frequent people's pages that I don't like, that I don't want to hear. So for the itty bitties that thinks that I should mind my business, you should stay from listening to the things that I have to say. Now, I understand that Toya may be upset, and I seen some comments saying, oh, Amora, she's grieving. Please don't do this. Listen, she did this. And again, this is not a drag. Toya can call me every name in the book. I'm not going to call her no name. I'm not going back there with Toya. I'd already been there. I'm not going to go back there with Toya. But I felt compelled to speak on this. One, I have bonus children. But let me just tell you how we did it to cut down this confusion. And this is for the 439 people in here. If you are put in this situation, then you need to look into doing this too. My husband and I have 5 children, adult children together. 2 mine, 3 are his. We do not want our adult children fighting over shit if something happens to us or one of us. So because of that, we have put things in place. We have, from the oldest child to the youngest child, spelled out who gets what. And we did it with USAA. They allow us to do that. Now, that's in the insurance policy. It says, hubby gets this amount. This is if I pass. Hubby gets this. Child gets this. This child gets this. This child gets, it's spelled all out, right? But on top of that, we have a will. And I think everybody should get a will. Because believe it or not, y'all, my daughter asked for something in the will that y'all may think is so small. And it is, but she asked for it and we put it in there. My daughter asked for a rice cooker. She did. And that rice cooker is going to her. Now, I know it may sound funny or whatever, because it's so small. The rice cooker was like $200 or whatever. But she gets that goddamn rice cooker, okay? But what I'm trying to say is you could put things in and spell all of it out. All of it. Do that for your family so that your family will not be going through this. Because let me just say this. I know that the dad would not want this to be going on, especially on the internet. He did not seem like an internet person, just from my observation. He would not like this going on the internet. So take it upon yourself and do your kids some justice. Don't have them fighting over things, because that's what this is, things. Don't have them fighting over things. Go and you could, some services offer free wheels, but some services may charge you, but it's not even a lot of money. Some banks or credit unions that you with, they may do it for you for free. We had ours done while we were still in the military for free by JAG. Use your resources. Even if you work, your job may offer free wheels. Take advantage of that. Go and spell it out, especially if you have bonus children. You don't want your bonus children to feel that you don't give a shit about them. So go spell it out. And then y'all have a family meeting and y'all discuss it so they will understand before your life is gone or your spouse's life is gone. They already understand what belongs to them. And then record it if you need to. Record it, right? But this type of stuff is avoidable. This is avoidable. But when I saw my aunts fall out, and at first I'm thinking, oh, they're going to be back, they'll be mad at each other for a month or two. No, they were mad at each other for years over a damn coat. That what happened was when they did make back up, they found out that grandmama promised both of them the coats, but at different times. And that could have just been a mistake. She probably forgot that she had already promised the other daughter the coat, right? But nevertheless, it's important to get our affairs in order before we pass, and we won't have these type of situations, right? Get your affairs in order, right? Now, I'm going to take a step and say this. A lot of Black people do not do this. They don't. They don't think that far ahead. And then they fight and argue. But other races do. Other races, they go ahead and take these things and put these things in place. If you want, you don't have to wait until you old. Jay and I did it when we first got married. Early on. Early on. Just get your affairs in order. Tomorrow is not promised. No one is promised 80 years of life, 70 years of life. God may call you home early. And if that happens, you don't want your children, whether it's your birth children or your bonus children, falling out over things. This is things that can be replaced. So again, like I said, the money, the beneficiary goes to the person that's named the beneficiary, right? But the personal property, and I heard her mention 60,000. Matter of fact, she said they are entitled to 60,000. No, the surviving spouse is entitled to the first 60,000. And whatever is remaining, whether it's 10,000, 20,000, or 100,000, it is split half and half. Half and half. So unfortunately, and I don't even know who goes through and count and say, okay, this is $60,000 worth right here. And this is what's remain. I don't even know who does that, but I wouldn't even want to be the person to do that. I really wouldn't. So what I would do is lay out who gets the furniture, and my thing is this, and then I'm gonna leave at this. And this is just my opinion. If I was an adult child, I wouldn't come through there and be like, I want the couch. I want this. I would not do that. Especially if I'm working, I'm in good health. My husband is working. God has blessed us. I wouldn't take shit from my stepmother. I wouldn't even go in there asking for nothing. Now, if she wanted to give me some things, I would take it as a sentimental thing, right? And I would appreciate it. But I absolutely would not go in there demanding shit. I would not. I absolutely would not. Especially if I have my own family. I have my hard-working ass husband. We both bringing in money. We're younger, right? When you're younger, you can make more money when you're younger. Ain't no way I would go in there demanding shit. I would go buy my own cars. I would go buy my own furniture. I would go buy my own things. I would not want my daddy's couch. I wouldn't want it. But nevertheless, I'm about to close. Thank you guys for blessing this live. Again, this is not a drag. And if people took this as a drag, that's on y'all. That's on y'all. If you want to take it and twist it and flip it and spread it, that's on y'all. But this is not a drag. Okay. Thank y'all. I understood. Someone said I met my goal. Thank y'all so very much. Let's celebrate for just a brief second. I always celebrate the goals when I make them. One more time. And we still gonna clap it out. All right, thank you guys so very much. I'm gonna read off a couple of more comments. She said, in North Carolina, if you die without a will, you have to prove relatedness through official documents in probate court. Do you? Damn. Well, I mean, when you say prove, what do you mean? Like you got to prove that you the child? Who? She needs to get the insurance company to explain these things. Exactly. Exactly. If the insurance company, listen, I think I already spoke about. Oh, let me just speak about one more thing, and then I gotta go. I just want to speak about this because she brought this out. She said that she wants to sue the wife for telling the doctors to give the dad more morphine. Now, I have to say this. I'm sorry, but I do. Wife cannot tell a doctor how much morphine to give a person. They cannot. They may say, can you give more pain medicine? But the doctor have to administer a patient and they have to do it the way they are trained to do it. She can't say, give them more, give them more. Now, why do I say that? Y'all know I've had a lot of surgeries, right? And I had a pain, what do you call that? It was called, I can't remember what it was called, but it was something that I had that I walked around with that I was able to push the button to administer myself some pain meds, right? And she said, when you feeling, when you start hurting again or whatever, just push this button. I can't remember the name of it. Y'all have to tell me what it is, but it was with morphine or whatever type medicine in there. A pain pump. Thank you. I had a pain pump. Thank y'all. And she said, when you start feeling, hurting again, you just push this button. I found myself pushing it quicker, right, as time went on. And PCA pump. That's what it was. And I'm trying to figure out why the pain keeps coming back quicker than, quicker or whatever. And I'm just pushing it. And so the nurse came in and I said, I'm just pushing this button and, but the pain keeps coming back quicker. She told me that it was controlled. And sometimes I push that button, ain't shit coming out of it, right? Because it's not going to administer more than what is medically safely allowed. You can push and push and push and push and push and push and push. And it's only going to administer so much. But I didn't know that. I'm sitting up here thinking that I'm getting medicine. I'm pushing. But no matter if I push it 50 times, it's not going to give me more than what is safely allowed. I just say that to say no doctor is going to just listen to a civilian, a family member, and say, give them more and give them more and give them more. And they're not going to make sure that it is safely administered. They're going to look and see how much they've already had. And all that stuff is based on a lot of things, your weight, your heart rate, a lot of different things. I don't know it all. I'm not in the medical field, but I have had quite a few surgeries. And I'm only saying this to say that she get administered more morphine, by telling the doctor to give them more. That's just absurd. Some people don't understand how shit works. They don't understand how things work. Okay? Now, as far as pulling the plug or whatever, I don't even really want to touch on that because sometimes people just don't want to. I don't even want to touch on that. But what I will say is, my mother-in-law was in an induced coma, and they took her out the induced coma, and they rolled her over because she had been laying on her back for days, and fluid was building up. So they rolled her over, and the family started saying them rolling her over suffocated her because the fluid, what did they say? Drowned her or suffocated her or whatever. I just think people say things because they want someone to blame. I think they do. I think people that is dealing with a loss, they don't really look at the bigger picture. And they say things because they want someone to point a finger at. But this is my take on this. God know already when our day is coming. Already. And unfortunately, I ain't even gonna say unfortunately, but I look at it like that. So I don't look at death the same way a lot of other people do. Get bent all out of shape and accuse people of doing harm. I don't look at things like that. I look at things like it was their time. When I've lost loved ones, I look at it like it was their time. God already knew it was their time. I don't want to further bring harm and pain to myself or my loved ones, trying to point a finger at someone for taking someone before their time and accusing someone or ending someone's life. But I see it happen a lot. And I look at it like, damn, they just want someone to blame. They want to point a finger at somebody instead of just saying it was their time. If I don't believe nothing else, which I do believe, I believe the Bible. I ain't gonna sit and say I believe the whole Bible. I feel like the Bible contradicts itself in a lot of ways. However, I am a believer of God. And one thing I do believe is our days are marked already. Our days are marked. So what I wouldn't do is sit back and point fingers at loved ones or even at a doctor or whatever, just to have someone to blame. So again, I'm not going to speak on the pulling the plug thing. To me, that's I don't know. I don't know. That's a one-sided story. We don't know what other, what I'm saying? That's a one-sided story. So I'm not going to talk about that per se. But as far as the insurance policy and accusing not calling an ambulance for 25 minutes, or whatever, I just think that is insensitive. I think that is a part of grieving as well. And I also think that bringing it to the internet was probably not the wisest thing to do. But nevertheless, my heart goes out to the entire family, including the wife, because she's not on here going back and forth and telling her side of the story. So everybody is grieving, not just the adult children. I'm sure sisters are grieving, brothers are grieving, and whoever else that was that supersedes the deceased, right? There's a lot of grieving going on, but I just want to come out and just say fine print is important to read. Don't sign nothing without understanding fully. Ask the questions. If you don't know, ask 50 zillion questions, but ask the questions when you should ask the questions. She said how long they were married. 7 years. I know it ain't a lifetime, but they were still married nevertheless. It don't matter if they was married for a year. They still married. They still married. You have to understand the position of a spouse. You have to understand the position of a spouse. So, and then it's just to say, my daddy told me that he wasn't happy with you type shit. Okay. Hell, you may wake up tomorrow and not be happy with your spouse. We ain't happy. Listen, I hope people that's not married know that you're not going to be happy every single day of your marriage. You just not. You are not going to be happy every single day of your marriage. If somebody told you that, then they lied to you. They lied to you, especially in the very beginning. But as time goes on, then the to me, I feel like as your marriage matures, you end up becoming more and more happy, and you know, you know what I'm trying to say. Understanding that that's your life partner, but in the beginning, baby, it's going to be some unhappy days. It's going to be some unhappy days, and as time go on, you're going to have some unhappy moments. It may not even last a whole day. And people talk. People say things like that. People say, oh, I don't want to be with her no more. Or this person makes me mad. Or, oh, they getting on my damn nerve. But that doesn't mean that they want a real divorce. Because if you want a real divorce, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go file for a real divorce. People talk. So anyway, I love y'all. Thank y'all for pulling up. Dimitri, thank you. Sassy D, thank you. Dry Bob. Tandra, thank you. Vera, Big Sis, thank you. Barbara, Perky, Gloria, Rita. Thank you for the renewal of the membership, Miss Fee. Black Beauty, thank you. Candy, thank you. She said, this is why you must have your shit in order. Yep, black folks put the wigs and Jordans down and get some life insurance. Yep, ain't no selling leg quarter dinners to bury y'all people. It's time out for that. Okay, girl. Kim, thank you. Vera, thank you. Nisa, thank you. Troy, thank you. Rita, people, the wife cannot tell the doctor to give more morphine. It's already ordered to give. Exactly. So that was, wild. Okay. Tina, thank you. Wife comes first. Vanita, thank you. S Gum. MC or Miss Carla, thank you, baby. Barbara, thank you. S Gum, thank you. S Gum again. Thank you so much, baby. The Real MF, thank you. Lashina, S Gum, S Gum. Oh, I'm loving it. Thank you, girl. Vera, thank y'all. Wind Down with Shabola, thank you. Exclusive. Keep talking more. Thank you. And Rita, thank you. Now, again, it's sad that Toya think, oh, you just doing this live for money. If Toya didn't want people to speak on this, she wouldn't have brought it to the internet. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Lolita, she said, right, because my husband pissed me off this morning before he left for work. I ain't cooking dinner today either. Laughing my ass off. Just kidding. I'ma feed the nigga. Okay, girl. But listen, but I feel you. I feel you because we make our spouses mad sometime and our spouses make us mad sometime. And I know I didn't call a couple of friends earlier on during the relationship and said some shit like, girl, I'm sick of this shit. I'm leaving. I'm sick of this control. He will not control me. I am done. And my friend had to talk me off the ledge and say, Amor, have you lost your complete mind? And then by the end of the conversation, I'd be like, girl, yeah, you right. Girl, you right. You know what I'm saying? So just because we say we done don't necessarily mean that we done. We say that, but I don't say it no more. I ain't calling. Y'all will never hear me call y'all and tell y'all I'm done. Okay? That shit was early on, especially in the first 3 years. I know my friends got sick of hearing me. I know they got sick of hearing me. So anyway, it happens. It happens. But that don't mean if you want a divorce, you're going to go get a divorce, period. Anybody want a divorce, they're going to go get a divorce. But hey, life is life. You're dealing with someone that you're not used to dealing with, right? You're learning them, they learning you. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? You just have to learn each other. Thank you, Troy. So anyway, I'm about to go because I got to go to the doctor and find out my results from the other day's surgery or procedure. So anyway, I love y'all. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out. And again, Toya, if you're listening to the end, this is not a drag for you, but I'm sure you're going to take it however you want to. And hopefully when you calm down, you will understand. No malice intents, just telling you straight up from woman to woman, wife to wife, and from bonus mom to bonus mom. Yeah, you doing the most. Anyway, love y'all. Talk to y'all later. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Because they can't make $1 without mentioning down one of our names.
She kept talking about that family.
Hoes over there.
She kept talking about that family. 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 That family. She kept talking about that family. Talking about that family.
These motherfuckers got me want to regret something. Because they can't make $1 without mentioning down one of our names. Talking about it. That family. That family. That family. That family. Jay! That family. That family. Talking about it. Dollar. Talking about it.
Child, we finna talk about this with a moral.